What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. Today is expansion day. We've got a huge update coming out today. There's a whole load of changes, loads of new ships, new features, changes to other ships, changes to carriers, like big meta shifts coming up. Most of them I will have no opinion on or any idea what's happening, but there are also a whole raft of mining changes coming as well. Now, there are so many changes, like just go and check the patch notes and give them a read. You've got the 2D map, you've got a whole bunch of UI overhauls for mining, new modules, rework modules, loads of new ships, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which is too much for me to go into in one video and do any of it any justice. So I need to pick and choose what I'm going to go for. And what I want to talk about in this video is the phased asteroid field, which is a completely new type of mining essentially. And what it is, these are scannable mining sites. You need probe scanner to be able to track them down initially, and they contain a brand new type of ore called erratic ore, which is a category of ore called erratic ore, and the first one in that category is prismaticite, which is only available in these sites. These sites can only spawn in null and low sec, which I can kind of appreciate. Obviously I always get sad when there's nothing happening in wormholes, but I do think if these are going to be very valuable sites, then there's designed to be a level of risk to them as well, and with wormhole mechanics as they are, it might be too OP to have them spawn in JSpace. I am pro, obviously, an overhaul of JSpace mechanics, and if it would mean it could accommodate this kind of thing without being broken, then I'm all for it. But as it's not possible, there's a whole new thing, and basically you need to scan these sites down, which I will do in a moment. When you warp in, they've got several prismaticite rocks, but then also a load of high-value asteroids. All types, there'll be all the null sec ores, low sec ores, and their high value counterparts in there as well, which is obviously very nice. And it's a weird system. So there's a what's it called, a hyperspace fracture running through the system that basically as it moves along, it goes through the prismaticite, and the prismaticite is initially not there. Like, you can see it, it's kind of ghostly. I'll show you hopefully in a moment, but it's technically like not there and you can't mine it. And then this hyperspace fracture over several hours moves through the system, and when it touches the prismaticite ore, then you can start mining it, and then eventually it'll despawn. All the other ores you can just mine as normal. So it's a very high value mining site even without the prismaticite, and then there's the prismaticite as well. Now the other things to mention, these prismaticite are phased asteroids. The fracture makes them phase in, but it only phases them in like a 10%, the fracture, so you can mine them with 10% efficiency. And that's also interesting, by the way. Whereas if you want to mine them at 100% efficiency, you need to deploy a mobile phase anchor, which requires a bunch of power to run them, energy to run them. And basically it's set up so that you'd either need one raw core in there, 2 orcas, or 3 porpoises to power the mobile phase anchor, so that you can mine the prismaticite with 100% efficiency. So this is a really interesting site, and it looks gorgeous. I'm going to drop back into the game and we will go find one. You'll notice, you might not recognize this ship I'm in. This is the Pioneer, which is the Tech 2, not Tech 2, which is the destroyer version of a mining ship. So obviously you've got the Venture, now you've got the Pioneer, and then you've got the barges. Actually, let me just drop off the prismaticite I was doing earlier when I was testing this out. But yeah, so there's the new destroyer. I'm not really going to go into its features because the new ships require a whole video of their own, and I'm not the person to do that. But a couple of interesting things about it are you can fit 3 mining lasers, so your mining efficiency goes up from the Venture, of course. You can also, with those 3 mining lasers, fit a scanner probe. So for these purposes, I have done that so that I can scan down these sites. So when that's done, we'll launch my probes. They're, as mentioned, they're cosmic signatures, and you need to scan them down to begin with. So we'll scan one down. The other thing, while I'm doing this, is once the once the hyperspace fracture has moved 50% of the way through the field, then the phased asteroid field, there's so many new words, becomes visible to everyone in the system. Well, I think without scanning it down, it becomes like a beacon or something, or it just turns up in the probe scanner. I'm not sure at the moment. And it becomes visible on the map as well, with a filter added on the map. So just while we finish that down, weird scanning down an ore site, but now we do. So just quickly on the 2D map, there's a new field called mining. Again, all new stuff. There's a mining field, gives you a whole bunch of other things, but phased fields is one of the things on here, and that will show you all the locations of exposed phased fields, which are fields that are over 50% decayed, for want of a better term. And so you need to pay attention to that if you're going to mine these. If you've got a raw core fleet in there with a bunch of other stuff, and suddenly you're visible on the map, I think people are going to start hunting them, which is interesting. Now, I find this content interesting as a wormholer, because what I'm excited about doing is, one, just taking advantage of it solo, because of the new destroyers, not just the Pioneer, but the Pioneer Consortium issue, or the Tech 2 or Command Destroyer would be very good for this as well. They've got decent ore holds, better than the frigates, and you can fit scanner probes, so you can land in these places. We've got to wait for it to load in. Takes a moment. Here it comes. So I'm the first person that's landed here, so the effect is brand new for me. And you can see you've got a phased asteroid coming in here now. Let's watch this effect take place. This is the hyperspace. Well, this isn't the hyperspace fracture necessarily. There's a big, like, whoa, here it comes. Let's just listen to it for a second. Man, that's cool. So this is the first one I've entered as the first person and spawned it, and see, graphics team, you have done well. And here comes a prismaticite, phased prismaticite, and there are a couple of others out here. You can see them; they're looking kind of ghostly. Which this? Okay, let me explain. This orb is the hyperspace fracture. It moves down this line until it gets to the end, and then eventually it'll despawn. I guess collapse. And it looks like, I don't know if this is a consistent timer, but it looks like it might be 6.5 hours in this case. If it hasn't reached these yet, they're called, they've still got the same name, but if I click on it, you'll see its state is latent. And in this case, it's not going to be breached for 5 hours 50 minutes. So I'm wrong about the timer. It's much, much longer, because it's not going to even reach here for 5 hours 50 minutes. So this is going to stay off the map for ages. I wonder how many of these are going to spawn. Anyway, and then this one 16 hours until that one's going to breach 400 kilometers away, and then we've got a big one at the end, which is 26 hours until that will spawn. But in between, you see we've got a load of rocks. If I go back to my ship, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, 60k from me over there, and then there's more as you move down, and it's all high value stuff. So dark ochre, yttrium 4 grade, dark ochre 4 grade, we've got gneiss, there's even mercoxite in here, benznacine, so there's a whole load of stuff. So you can just go and mine that with full efficiency, and you can warp around the site as well. So you could, let's demonstrate. I can warp down to this mercoxite, no problem, and go and mine that a long way from the spawning point, and then come back and mine this in a moment. So just obviously I can't mine mercoxite, but what else we've got nearby? Let's get some benzonite, and we can just mine that, and it should mine with full efficiency. The other thing while we're here, I know I wasn't going to talk about the ships, but they have introduced a really nice quality of life change as well, which is this button here, which is your mining surveyor. This is available by default in all mining vessels and corvettes, but you get a limited amount of information if you just use it by default. If you now add the mining survey chipset, which has replaced the survey scanner module, you then get more details just by clicking this. So if you click it, it'll highlight, which I will in a second. You can see it will highlight everything by color based on its value. That is value relative to everything else in the system, not value relative to the universe. But we'll click it again. Nice graphics as it does that, because it pings out in a nice long way. You can see that. Not sure what the full range is, but it's quite good. And then once that's done, you can click on the asteroids, and it gives you a breakdown of what's in them. Click each one and you get a full breakdown. So there you go. This one rock of mercoxite grade 3 is apparently worth 169 million estimated, and you could mine 9,000 units of it. That's pretty good. This gneiss is 1.2 billion in this rock here. So there's a lot of ISK on grid just here, right? Benzonite doesn't have an average. Is this a special one? I can't remember where this spawns, but it looks like a specialist one. Anyway, that's enough of mining benzonite. We're going to go back to the phased asteroid. And the other thing, we'll do it when we land, because now that I've started warping, it's gone away. There's also a graphical representation of your mining hold. So if you, is it when you scan? Yeah, when you scan, you'll see this comes up to show you how full you are, which I also quite like. So you don't necessarily have to be paying attention to this now. You can just zoom out a certain way and still see it, and you're all good. Now back to the phased prismaticite. Again, you get the scanner gives you some more information, so you can see how many units are in here. A lot of units. These are big rocks, and it tells you the mining efficiency. So I can mine this with 10% efficiency at the moment. If we want to do better than that, we need to bring in a mobile phase anchor, and have mining command ships to anchor it in place. Again, as a wormholer, this is exciting because you can pop out into null or low, scan around a little bit, find one of these, hopefully within a couple of jumps of your system. Don't know how common they're going to be. And if it's a quiet system, you can either go and like ninja mine it solo in one of these, or as I mentioned, this has got an ore hold of 8,000. The Tech 2 version of this has an ore hold of 20,000. So similar ratio to the Prospect to the Venture, for example. So you got a 20,000 ore hold in a destroyer. You can come and kind of ninja stuff, or get together as a fleet, bring 3 porpoises out of hull. That's not that much ISK to have on grid. Anchor one of these things and try and mine it whilst keeping an eye on local. That's something I really want to do soon with the Corp, so we'll see if we can get something going there. Now, while we're at 10% efficiency, I find this mechanic interesting. Rather than, I think because it does one whole unit per cycle, you don't get like hundreds. Rather than give you a fraction of a unit per cycle, you essentially need to do 10 cycles of your things before you get 1 unit. So it won't take too long to demonstrate this, but you'll see we'll do 3 cycles here and nothing will happen. Oh, they did introduce critting, so it's possible I got a crit. We'll see. So we've got 1 and we've done 3 cycles. Here comes 6 cycles. And we've got another one. So at the moment there's 10%. Maybe it's averages over time. When I did this earlier, it did it pretty much 1 every 10 cycles. So far we're at 1 every 3. Okay, none this time, which takes us to 2 out of 9. What are we going to get at 12? We shouldn't get any for a while if the 1 in 10 is correct. 3 out of 12. So at the moment we're in 1 in 4 cycles. So it looks like it maybe does average over time, and I've just gotten lucky at the beginning of this. There's obviously no estimated value yet, and I'm going to do a separate video on what this stuff actually does. I just really wanted to show you the site. As mentioned, this is now going to take a long time to track over there. So this is really interesting. I thought it was going to be like an unsafe, in inverted commas, thing, in that you will be a beacon on the map quite quickly. But actually, you can bring a fleet in here and mine for, I mean, that's 26 hours away. So, and that's not even at the end. But let's assume it lasts roughly a day. You come in here and mine for 12 hours before anyone kind of knows you're doing it, which is, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here that's going to be good to mine. I want to see that ship icon again. Looked good. Yeah, I'm excited about these. But yeah, I'm going to do another video on what erratic ore is. But just very quickly before I wrap up, it basically allows you to refine into any one of the 8 mineral types, including morphite. So you can refine into any of these. If you reprocess the ore directly, it's random. I don't know if it's weighted in any way or if it's just a 12.5% chance of any, but you'll get any one of them and in a range of units as well. Or you can use a new reaction type, which is called like erratic ore formulas, which then let you choose which one of these it's going to end up being. But then it's a reaction rather than reprocessing. But I'm going to do a whole separate video on that because that's something I want to dive into in more detail. So if you're interested and you want to know where this ends up, then subscribe to the channel, and that new video will come out very soon after this one. There's also one of the things I didn't mention, a brand new epic arc. I think it's quite a short one, and it's mining focused, and it's supposed to be how you can get some of these ships quite easily at the beginning, and it's new player focused. So I also will be doing an epic arc run through very soon as well. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. If you've enjoyed this content, please consider liking the video, and yeah, get out there and let's all enjoy the new content. It's going to be a good expansion. I'm excited about it for sure. All right, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.